किश्त सपनों को कहो yes.
Coming to you from the Global Fintech Fest 2025, and with me, the CEO and founder of Kissht, Ranvir Singh. Ranvir, welcome. And I need to first tell everybody what Kissht is all about. It's a digital lending platform which has truly democratized the needs, the wants, the growth wants of people, whether they are from any strata, but whether they're doing any kind of business or for their personal needs, but democratizing the fact that they can also grow in life, and if they need money at any point in time, it is always there. Tell me about the growth story.
It has been a remarkable, growth over last many years. We feel great that we have been able to build a franchise which is catering to a wide segment of customers, be it salaried, be it self-employed, mostly young guys who are basically, are slightly on the heightened sense of using technology when it comes to taking credit.
True.
And more importantly, this credit is much more dignified in nature, where people can just come to the app or to our web platform, fill details, and on the back of that can get a loan dispersed literally in 2 to 5 minutes. So that is what we have been able to build.
AUM has grown at nearly 79% CAGR over the years. What were the points where you pivoted from and you realized, all right, this is the place where we can build this or scale this?
First of all, we feel glad about the growth that we have achieved over last many years, and particularly in the last 2 years when we have grown at a rate of around 79%. Beyond growth, what has really given me a sense of satisfaction is around this time when the market has gone through quite a tumult because if you look at what is happening in other sectors, particularly some of the other large players,
right,
one has seen an increase in the risk, but for us during this period we have seen a secular decline in the risk, almost 50% lower than what it used to be before. I think the three factors which I'll highlight which has contributed to this: first and foremost, we have focused on customers who are high quality synonymous with people who are not over leveraged. Though there are many definitions of over leverage, for us the definition is their debt repayment as a proportion of their disposable income is below a particular threshold, and being able to focus on that,
right,
it has not been an easy decision because it also involved cutting lines with people. Wherever you have seen there are people borrowing beyond their means.
True.
So we have been able to almost, if I think of the last 3-4 years journey, cutting lines of around 4 to 5% of a customer. 4 to 5% may seem like a small number, but makes a world of difference in our setup because right, there's a compounding effect. These are shorter tenure loan, 12 months loan, and so on and so forth. So that's number one. Number two, I think most of the fintech players, and that holds true for us, we have all evolved from being very, very nascent many years back into our adolescence years. So the culture has built around going after growth, which is high quality growth. Having a culture where there are risk thresholds, those risk thresholds cannot be violated, and I think that's the other reason which has contributed in terms of ensuring that we are having a quality growth. Last but not the least, but perhaps the most pronounced thing, this growth has come on the back of high quality partnerships. These partnerships are with merchants who become the bulwark for us to acquire customers. But at the same time, on the provision of capital availability, we have partnered with some of the large NBFCs and banks,
true,
which has allowed the free flow of capital. And at the same time, we are able to play the intermediation role, where we are partnering with our merchants and aggregators and e-commerce players, where we are able to acquire customers and able to serve these guys.
Your core business has been the strength always, but you are also now expanding. How do you balance that, and how do you stay true to the original business? I'm sure it is customer-centric, what the customer is wanting, and while you're evolving into the new segment, that remains still your core, right?
We have tried to stick to our value proposition, and this value proposition is deeply rooted in driving transparency and convenience to the customer. What customers are looking for? They are actually looking for pricing transparency.
Yeah.
They're looking for scrupulousness when it comes to serving the customer, and more importantly, very simple process. And we have had a fanatical mindset towards not violating this principle. Till the time I think you are focused on that, I think you are creating a very, very differentiated niche for yourself, and that has helped a lot of people to come to us as against, so for example, we as a company are not somebody who spent a lot on digital marketing.
Right.
Because the brand is known to people. There's a very high degree of brand recall. To bolster this, we also got Sachin Tendulkar, which was a great move for us. So just being true to your proposition and not showing an excessive exuberance in a market like this when the risk management is of paramount importance as much as the growth is. So that has played well for us.
How do you also balance perhaps speed with compliance and risk management?
For us, compliance is absolutely, absolutely first. We never build a business thinking compliance is an afterthought. For us, almost all processes, and compliance not defined in a very high-handed, lofty manner, but all the processes, all the customer interaction, it's not only in letter, but also in spirit. You are caring about the customer, you are ensuring that the principles of transparency and disclosure are taken to the last level. I would go to the extent of saying we are at a stage where we don't see compliance as one of the capability, but a true moat. It is not throttling the business, but in some indirect and a pronounced manner, it is actually adding to the business. Because at the end of the day, we being a RBI regulated entity, our customers also identify us. We are living in a stage where customers see transparency
Correct.
no longer as an entitlement, but something which is very, very core to them. And being able to, so we see compliance as a sure source of competitive advantage. And I think that mindset and the culture that we have built has truly helped us made this thing very, very compliant and helped us in the growth as well.
Collections have been a sensitive area in the industry. How does Kissht look at it? What are your ethical values attached with it?
So first of all, just to give you a flavor of our collection operation, we have almost 9,000 people. 2,000 are telecallers, almost 7,000 are people all across India, maybe covering 17,000 pin codes. So it's a large operation. For us, it is very important that we don't get into some of the myths which exist in the market.
Right.
For example, it is flat out mythological that people believe that you can go collect by knocking on the door and showing some aggression. Absolutely not true. For us, what has worked is the usage of technology. We were one of the first companies when we started, we created what is called as an ACS, automated collection system. Almost it went simultaneously with our loan management system. For many institutions, it comes after the loan has been built. You have run the operation for 2 years. For us, it was different. We wanted to have a very strong focus. Why technology becomes important? Because a lot of intervention, first of all, with the customer are tech-enabled. They are not human interactions. The tech-enabled interactions can be far more mellowed down, right? They can actually help understand or make customer react to those. So for example, there are instances when customer request for some postponement of EMIs. We are able to, they have to put a request. And we very proactively ask, can you put that request, and that help us capture the input they are giving, and we are able to cater to that. For example, one of the big issues which exist in collection, when you are giving a case to a person on ground to go and collect, the usual practice in the market is this person basically has to get the PIA details of the customer, because that's the reason they can call and they can enter.
Right.
In my case, you don't get any, because all the people on ground, 7,000 odd, they have an app. The cases get allocated. If they have to call a customer, it is almost like an Uber call, where they don't know, they don't get the number, and the customer is sure that they of course can meet the customer and then exchange, but that's their prerogative. I think the point I'm making is some of the technology elements have gone a very, very long way in terms of ensuring a much more dignified interaction with the customer. So a whole host of those activities has helped us follow a much more ethical way of having a care for the customer, as again just trying to go and collect the money.
Tell me about Kisht's LAP offering and how does it stand out from traditional lenders? And in the times to come, where do you actually see the tech-first approach making it even more smoother for, say, players like yours to be one step ahead from all the other NBFCs, all the other players that are coming in the market that are posing competition?
And if you look at what is the true capabilities we have built, and there are only two. First and foremost, underwriting, our ability to rank order customers, so that we can differentiate between a good customer or a customer who will have some struggle with the repayment and so on and so forth. And the second, it has happened on the back of technological backbone. We have served almost 9.2 million customers. Not a single one we have ever met. Of course, we have spoken to them, talked because we want to understand, etc., but those are after the loan have got disbursed.
Right.
So this technology is truly a differentiator. And with every passing day, there are further layers which are built, which will only be a source of advantage. You talked about our lab business. Now, lab is a business in India which is mired with physical processes. I think secured business for decades have carried the weight of rituals. You have title deeds, you have property valuation, you have whatnot, etc., etc.
Right.
So it was not an easy, move to get into a business which has all these things. We do our lab business in a very different manner, right from underwriting to property evaluation, to looking at title, to looking at whether the ownership issues are not there. All of that is done digitally. The last part, which is the collateralization. Unfortunately, in India, you can't fully automate it because you still have to take the property document to the SRO, the registrar office, and then basically put your name on that you have a lien on this thing. But other than that, everything else is digitized. The reason we made a foray into a business like this, because of course we have a large base of customers. One was, of course, we are diversifying. But the bigger reason is today our own customers are taking every month a lab which goes to almost significant number. And we said if we have to serve our customer in a very wholesome manner, we have to go beyond not only doing unsecured loan, but also secured product. And this will be the first of the many products that will come in future. So that's the thinking around it. But the only reason we are able to do it, just to reiterate the point, because we have all the AI, ML, which goes into rank ordering the customer, which is the risk selection, and the technology know-how and the processes, which helps us serve them better.
Fantastic. What an insightful chat. Thank you so much for this conversation.
Absolutely.
And best of
Thank
luck.
you for having me.